because if it does, some of the, even shale gas we are talking about, or some other development in other countries cannot be sustained on the basis of low price of oil.
But for how long do you think the decline in oil price is going to continue? How long are we going to see this slide in oil price?
No, for example, we are now getting into a winter period, in Europe and in some parts of United States. And then you may then see the price, the stock of oil, being drawn down, whereby come in another 5-6 months, the price may go up because some of the countries or companies will have to restock, and that was what informed the decision of OPEC to wait until they are meeting in June next year before they now decide whether to do production cutback. Now you may see OPEC taking a strategic decision in June, or if the situation gets out of hand before June next year, you can bet that OPEC will meet to consider the alternative measures to take.
Now, some people believe that with this slide in oil price, that actually would help curb oil theft. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know. You see, let's look at it. People who steal oil, they don't have any cost of production. So whether they sell at 100 or they sell at 60, it doesn't really matter very much to them. At the end of the day, they are still making money. Yes, their gains may be reduced, but it's even that they will not be having anything. So the incentive to steal oil is not based on the fact that the price of oil was over 100 or close to 100. It's just that they want to make additional money. The only thing is that the ease with which they can sell stolen oil, because of the voracious demand for oil, may not be as high as when there is now that there is a glut. But the fact will remain that people with if measures are not taken to curb oil theft, there will still be some amount of oil theft going on.
Now, the passage of the Petroleum Industry Bill has remained a major concern here in Nigeria. Are we likely to see this bill passed anytime soon, considering the fact that oil price is sliding?
Well, it's like the Minister of Petroleum said, the ball is in the court of National Assembly. And I think for quite some time, both Senate and House of Rep were talking about passing this bill, because we are cutting our nose to spite our face, as it were. If you look at the amount of investment we have lost over the past 5-6 years, some of the problems we are currently having today, will not have been exacerbated, or we may have, will not have been exacerbated if we have passed the bill, and some of the investment that we have lost have actually been put in place. But the issue now is, if we don't pass find a way of passing the bill, it will be increasingly becoming difficult for us to do so, because the dynamics of the international petroleum industry and market will be changing things not in our favor, but against our favor, in terms of putting in place legislation that will put the Nigerian oil and gas industry on a sound footing. The earlier the politicians or interest groups are able to see reason and note the implications of what they are doing, the better. But I don't expect much will happen between now and probably early next year, because the National Assembly, the senators and House of Representatives members, they are now more concerned about their re-election and so on. So the attention they are paying to issues of legislation, is considerably reduced. Not to talk of some of the problems they are having, particularly in the House of Representatives. So their minds are not settled to consider the bill in a way that I feel that probably they will pass it. Although so much amount of work has been done, what is probably keeping the bill in the code is the vested interest. And once they make up their mind to say that, okay, gentlemen, ladies, gentlemen, let's forget about our differences. Let's put this bill, push this bill forward and pass it. I guess within a short time they can do so. But then they have to sink their differences. They have to keep the interests of the country first in their consideration, so that at the end of the day, the bill that people feel that it will provide solution to some of the problems we are having in the industry, and indeed the Nigerian economy will have been passed into law.
And looking at the whole scenario, looking at the situation, what is the way forward?
We have to internalize our resources. We have to expand the opportunity within our country. We have to go and quickly establish refineries to supply domestic market. Stop importation of petroleum products, for goodness sake. That is one of the things. But it's not something that will come overnight. But we have to give encouragement to those who are willing to do that. And government can go into joint venture with private sector to establish refineries. Maybe at a later time you can then sell, but government has to jumpstart some of these. We have to put refine substantial proportion of our crude locally. Then we have to export products to some of these African countries apart from our own local market. Then do a sort of bilateral relations, trade relations with some countries we feel that can take our crude oil, in the next couple of years, while we are looking at the way to diversify. And finally, we have to be prudent in managing our resources. Democracy is good, but we can make it cheaper. And the era of Scandinavia, we should recognize that it is over. But we only hope that the politicians will recognize this and let us manage the resources, the financial resources accrued to this company judiciously. If we don't do that, then we will have crisis on our street.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fawibe. It's been an interesting conversation.
Thank you very much.
That was Dr. Diran Fawibe, the CEO, International Energy Services Limited. This is simply a wake-up call for government at different levels to begin to put things in the right perspective. With that, I say thank you for being part of this program today. Don't forget to keep a date with us, same time next week. I'm Chimeze Obi Iwagun. Bye for now.